If for some reason one of the two parties makes it very difficult, we're just going to say you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to just take a pass.
Ukrainian sniper eliminates 3 Russian infantrymen who tried to remain unnoticed while attempting to move at night. Another failed assault by Russian forces near Vovchassansk shows the destruction of motorcycles by Ukrainian drones.
47 days ago, we agreed to the American proposal for an unconditional ceasefire. And later we made our own proposals to the Russians to stop striking civilian objects, at least that. But in Moscow, they are responding with Shaheds, missiles, artillery, and new assaults. A proper response from the world is needed, a response with new sanctions and ever greater pressure. Of course, it is America that can take the most tangible steps, tangible for Russia.
In what military experts are calling a watershed moment in drone warfare, Ukrainian forces have penetrated Russian air defenses across Crimea using hundreds of coordinated unmanned systems. Explosions illuminated the night sky as Ukraine's inexpensive drone fleet inflicted billions in damage to Russia's military assets. The nighttime operation targeted the strategic Kacha airbase, ammunition depots, and key logistical hubs. Russian officials claim to have shot down 89 drones, but evidence of multiple successful strikes reveals critical failures in their air defense network. The attack shatters Russia's security perceptions about its occupied territories, raising questions about the future of conventional warfare.
The architecture of precision. Ukraine's methodical planning and intelligence gathering.
Ukraine's transformation from a defensive force into one capable of executing precision strikes deep within Russian-held territory represents a strategic evolution of remarkable significance. The successful attack on Crimean military installations required an intricate planning apparatus that integrated multiple intelligence streams, exploited defensive vulnerabilities, and utilized technological innovation to overcome conventional military disadvantages. The operation began months before any drones crossed into Crimean airspace. Ukrainian military strategists faced penetrating Russia's air defense network, a multi-layered system resembling a fortress wall with sophisticated radar installations and missile batteries designed to protect military assets. This defensive architecture included long-range S-400 and shorter-range Pantsir systems, combined with electronic warfare capabilities to disrupt drone guidance. Intelligence gathering phase. Satellite reconnaissance. Ukrainian intelligence mapped Russian defensive positions using commercial and military imagery. Human intelligence. ATESH resistance networks operated covertly within Crimea. Electronic surveillance identified vulnerabilities in Russian radar and jamming systems. One particularly valuable breakthrough came when ATESH operatives documented a consistent 23-minute gap in radar coverage during shift changes at a key defensive position, information impossible to gather from satellite imagery alone. Ukrainian military analysts integrated these intelligence streams to identify critical vulnerabilities in Russian defenses. They mapped radar coverage gaps created by Crimea's mountainous terrain and located electronic warfare dead zones. This meticulous analysis produced a comprehensive infiltration strategy maximizing mission success probability. Planning phase. The timing revealed strategic calculation. Ukrainian forces selected midnight on May 2nd, when historical intelligence indicated reduced vigilance among Russian personnel. During these hours, reaction times typically increased due to circadian rhythm disruptions in night shift operators. The plan incorporated countermeasures against defensive systems through a multi-wave approach. Each intelligence element directly informed tactical decisions. Satellite-identified ammunition storage locations became primary targets. ATESH documented patrol schedules determined drone insertion timing. Electronic surveillance data established optimal flight corridors. Execution phase. Ukrainian forces deployed decoy drones to trigger Russian radar systems and draw defensive fire. While these decoys occupied air defense resources, the main strike force navigated through predetermined corridors where radar coverage was compromised. This deception effectively saturated Russian defensive capabilities, creating multiple simultaneous threats that overwhelmed air defense operators. Throughout the operation, Ukrainian drone operators maintained tactical flexibility by incorporating real-time intelligence feeds. When Russian forces attempted to adapt by repositioning mobile air defense assets, Ukrainian operators dynamically adjusted flight paths. This adaptive framework demonstrated sophisticated command and control capabilities. The successful execution of this complex attack stemmed from Ukraine's ability to synthesize disparate intelligence into a coherent operational framework. By combining multiple intelligence sources, Ukrainian forces exploited specific vulnerabilities in Russian defensive posture, allowing a numerically inferior force to achieve tactical surprise. This operation represents a significant milestone in Ukraine's military evolution. The intelligence and technological approach demonstrated in the Crimean strikes illustrates how modern warfare increasingly favors forces capable of integrating information streams and rapidly adapting to changing battlefield conditions. Ukraine has effectively transitioned to a proactive force capable of projecting power against strategic targets deep within enemy territory.
The devastating impact, strategic consequences of Ukraine's precision strikes.
The recent Ukrainian strikes on Crimea's military infrastructure raise a fundamental question about modern warfare. Can a smaller military force effectively dismantle the operational capabilities of a conventionally superior adversary through precision targeting of logistical hubs? The evidence from these attacks suggests a profound shift in military power dynamics. Kacha Airbase stood as Russia's crown jewel on the Black Sea coast. This premier aviation hub housed fighter jets supporting the Russian Black Sea Fleet, attack helicopters for close air support, and specialized airborne intelligence vehicles. These assets formed the backbone of Russia's air superiority across the region. Their concentration in one location created an opportunity for Ukrainian forces to maximize impact with minimal resources.
The aftermath tells a devastating story.
Satellite imagery reveals a fortress reduced to ruin. Ammunition bunkers display catastrophic detonation patterns radiating outward like deadly flowers blooming across the landscape. Fuel depots burn with thermal signatures revealing prolonged fires. Aircraft parking areas and maintenance facilities lie in twisted metal heaps. What was once a symbol of Russian military might now resembles a graveyard of aviation aspirations, with each destroyed component amplifying the damage of the others. These strikes penetrated deeper than physical destruction. The Kerch Bridge, the only direct land connection between mainland Russia and Crimea, closed for approximately 2.5 hours during the attack, creating immediate logistical challenges for Russian forces who depend on this lifeline for supplies and operational mobility. Perhaps most concerning for Moscow's leadership was the failure of their air defenses. Despite claims of intercepting numerous drones, the substantial damage to high-priority targets suggests sophisticated Ukrainian strike packages successfully penetrated multiple defensive layers. This defensive collapse exposes a fundamental vulnerability: critical assets concentrated within Ukrainian drone range without adequate protection. Russian military planners face an impossible dilemma with significant implications. They must either reinforce Crimean defenses by redeploying systems from active frontline positions or accept continued vulnerability to precision strikes. This calculation creates opportunities for Ukrainian forces regardless of Russia's choice. Redeployment creates defensive gaps at the front line, while maintaining the status quo invites further infrastructure attacks. The destruction of ammunition depots forces Russia to transport munitions from deeper within Russian territory, extending supply lines, increasing costs, creating additional vulnerabilities, and potentially limiting resupply to frontline units. This degrades Russia's ability to sustain high-intensity combat operations across southern Ukraine. By targeting key logistical nodes, destroying aviation assets, and forcing defensive reallocation, Ukrainian forces have effectively degraded Russia's operational flexibility across the entire southern theater. Resources diverted to protect rear areas create a persistent drag on Russia's offensive capabilities. These strikes demonstrate warfare's evolution, Low-cost, precision-guided unmanned systems provide Ukraine with capabilities that neutralize traditional Russian military advantages. The ability to bypass sophisticated defenses reveals how military technology democratization has altered conventional power balances. The strategic consequences extend far beyond immediate tactical situations. As physical and psychological impacts reverberate through Russian command structures, the security of rear areas appears fundamentally compromised, forcing a comprehensive re-evaluation of military deployments across occupied territories and introducing a new calculus into Russia's strategic decision-making process. Ukraine's drone campaign against Crimea signals a paradigm shift in modern warfare that military strategists worldwide are now studying intently. The operational success demonstrates how asymmetric capabilities effectively neutralize conventional military advantages through precision targeting, intelligence integration, and technological innovation at relatively low cost. The strategic implications extend beyond physical destruction. Russia must reconsider its entire Black Sea military posture and security framework for occupied territories. Secure rear echelon territory has transformed into contested battle space. What happens when a fortress crumbles from within? Crimea, once Russia's stronghold, exists in perpetual vulnerability, reshaping the conflict's trajectory and forever changing how we understand modern warfare.